I understand that people are trying to inspire the world to be a better place, right? We're all wishing that we could just say the employee needs this and we would fulfill their wishes and dreams, and that would make them into a superstar employee. Right? That's the idea, right? If you give me what you want, what I want up front, I'm just going to rocket ship through this place. But the company is still looking at it as an ROI perspective, right? So if we hear things like, let's normalize, whatever, or let's bring your whole self to work, or dear recruiter, right? All these posts that start like, I know, right? Dear recruiter, stop doing your job. Yeah. Stop using the foreign letter the company's making you use. They're not going to do it. They can't. Or, I even hear the LinkedIn pundits, they'll say, I don't mind if you have a gap. I don't mind if someone has a brief tenure. You're not the gatekeeper.
Right. It's like, you're Joe Schmo at company. It's like, you're not the person who's screening me.
So it's setting this false standard for the job seekers. It's really setting them up to fail, right? So as much as it's like, yes, we should all try to be better. Yes, we should all try to do better. Yes, people should have bias training. Absolutely. Do they all? No. Especially like once you get past, maybe the recruiter did, maybe not. Probably HR did. By the time you get to the hiring manager, probably not. Yeah. The other team members, they have no idea what they're doing. They just got pulled off their desk and told, hey, we need to just see your opinion on this candidate. They have no idea. So it's also about that reality of these are the challenges, right? It's the research is saying that if you're over 40, you're a protected class and you're going to be facing certain things. For us to ignore that, or, the job hopper thing, right? Everybody's like, no big deal, no big deal. Okay, well, the research tells us it's a problem. Mm-hmm. When we see recruiter posts, it says in it, you can only have had 2 positions in the last 5 years. You can have no position shorter than 2.5 years, or we're not even going to look at you. It's baked into some of the applicant tracking systems. So you telling the job seeker, own it. No big deal. Just say, I leave every 6 months because the environment was toxic. Okay, well, if you've got back-to-back 6-9 month tenures, guess what?
If everyone is an a-hole, you're the a-hole.
It's reflecting poorly on you. It's hurting you, right? So at that point, it's like, okay, well, we need to address this head on. We need to use some content strategies. We need to come up with a narrative for you, whether it's I make an impact really quickly. These were contract roles, and this should be all truth-based, mm-hmm. right? Narrative. Streamlining or combining, right? Even if it's a long tenure, maybe you're breaking it up because we're trying to show versatility, right? And I'm not just a one-trick pony. To ignore it, though, is damaging to the job seeker.
That's so true. And I think, like, again, when it comes to all these things, it's not, oh, I have this, woe is me. I have a gap, woe is me. Yeah. I'm a job hopper, woe is me. It's, I'm a job hopper, therefore I need to do these things to overcome the concern, right?
Right.
And this is objective management in a way. Like, they're going to object. So you have to come up with a response to that objection. Right. So early in my career, proactively. So early in my career, I was a job hopper, technically. And
it's very appropriate early.
Yeah. Especially early, because like the average job is like 4 years or something like that, if you look at the stats. But I realized it, and I was like, okay, if I'm going to be someone who changes here and it wasn't all like chosen, right? I worked for a lot of startups. So startups were a mess back in the 2015s.
Yes. And you can't control that.
Right. But I knew it was going to be an issue. So I created something called Job Hopper TV, where I created little videos about like how to proactively like do different things in your career and stuff like that. And like, it only lasted like a week, and it was one of the many steps towards career therapy. But it was interesting how like at the time, it's like, some people go, oh, I'm a job hopper, I guess I'll never get a job. It's like, no,
Or
no,
I'm
no.
always going to have low level, high turnover roles.
Right. It's like, no, now you just need to build this other part of yourself up. And like that, I think, is what is missing in a lot of these conversations, is the proactive development of the individual and kind of giving people permission to be crappy. And then they go into these jobs and they end up being the bad coworker and the bad manager, creating bad circumstances around themselves. And then they wonder why every job they have is toxic, right? Like I know what the toxic things I was doing when I was young were, and I have made huge changes in my life so that those things don't replicate themselves. But we're almost not encouraging people to do that in some ways.